While many reality TV stars measure success in cars, handbags, and non-stop drama, Wendy Osefo walks into her Maryland home carrying something far less flashy: a PhD, a sharp political mind, and a confidence that doesn't ask for approval. This is more than a spacious estate in suburban America. It's the home of an immigrant woman who turned intellect into authority and education into independence. To understand how she built this life, we have to begin with where it all started: her childhood and the foundation that shaped her mind. Wendy Osefo was born Wendy Onyinye Osefo, née Ozuzu, on May 21, 1984, into an Igbo family in Nigeria. At just 3 years old, she immigrated to the United States with her family, first landing in Durham, North Carolina, before settling in Maryland, where her identity would be forged. Her childhood was shaped by a single immigrant mother who believed in one unshakable rule: education was not optional, it was survival. Hard work wasn't encouraged, it was expected. That mindset became Wendy's armor. Growing up between cultures, she learned to move with discipline and purpose, understanding early that credentials could open doors that talent alone could not. She carried that lesson through every classroom she entered. Wendy earned a Bachelor of Science in Political Science from Temple University, then a Master of Arts in Government from Johns Hopkins University, one of America's most demanding academic environments. Still, she wasn't finished. In 2012, she completed a Master of Science in Public Affairs with a specialization in community development at Rutgers-Camden, narrowing her focus toward policy that actually touched real lives. By 2016, Wendy reached a historic milestone. She became the first Black woman to earn a PhD in Public Affairs and Community Development from Rutgers-Camden. Her dissertation, Engaging Low-Income Parents in School Beyond the PTA Meeting, reflected her core belief: education must work for communities that are often excluded from power. It wasn't theory for theory's sake, it was strategy. Academia followed. Wendy held professorial roles, including teaching positions at Johns Hopkins University and later Wesleyan University, where she blended scholarship with real-world analysis. But her voice didn't stay confined to lecture halls. Networks like CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, BBC, and ABC sought her out as a political commentator, drawn not to spectacle, but to clarity. She spoke with authority, not volume; analysis, not outrage. Continuing into 2018, Wendy expanded her mission by founding the 1954 Equity Project, an organization dedicated to advancing educational equity and community development. The name itself was intentional, anchored in history, justice, and long-term change. This wasn't branding, it was alignment. Then, in 2020, Wendy stepped into a space no one expected her to dominate. She joined Season 5 of the Real Housewives of Potomac, becoming the first Nigerian cast member in the franchise. On a show known for lifestyle clashes and sharp exchanges, Wendy brought something different: degrees, discipline, and cultural pride. Across more than 125 episodes from 2020 to 2026, she challenged stereotypes, centered education, and refused to shrink her intellect for entertainment. Even as controversy followed in later years, her presence shifted the tone of the room. Wendy Osefo didn't trade intellect for visibility, she carried it with her. And that mindset, immigrant roots reinforced by academic armor, extends beyond television and titles. It's written into the walls of the place she calls home. Now, let's step inside the Maryland estate where that authority lives and breathes every day. Maryland Estate, a home that thinks before it shines. For Wendy Osefo, home was never meant to be a stage. It was meant to be a base of operations. In May 2019, Wendy and her husband Eddie purchased their residence in Finksburg, Maryland for $685,000, a move that felt intentional rather than aspirational. Today, the property is valued at around $750,000, but its true worth isn't measured in market appreciation. It's measured in function, space, and control. Set on a quiet 2-acre plot within a golf course residential community, the 7,000-square-foot estate immediately signals a different kind of ambition. This isn't a flashy reality TV mansion designed for camera angles. It's a large, grounded suburban home built for thinking, working, and raising a family without noise. The kind of place where privacy matters more than spectacle. Step inside, and the first impression is light. The main living room is wide and open, flooded with natural sunlight that softens the scale of the space. It feels calm, not intimidating, designed for conversation rather than performance. Separate living and dining rooms create clear boundaries between hosting, family time, and daily routine, a subtle reflection of Wendy's structured mindset. The kitchen sits at the center of the home, both physically and symbolically. A large island anchors the space, surrounded by built-in double ovens and a stovetop designed for real use, not decorative staging. The kitchen opens directly into a sunroom, blurring the line between indoor focus and outdoor calm. It's easy to imagine long mornings here, coffee on the counter, kids nearby, and strategy quietly forming before the day begins. One of the most telling spaces in the house is the ground floor study. This isn't an afterthought or a converted corner. It's a dedicated room, placed intentionally on the main level, signaling that intellect and work are part of daily life, not something hidden upstairs. This is where ideas are shaped, interviews prepared for, and decisions made, away from the noise of cameras and commentary. Upstairs, the primary suite continues the theme of balance. The bedroom is expansive but not indulgent, featuring a separate seating area that turns the room into a retreat rather than just a place to sleep. 2 walk-in closets offer symmetry and order, while the ensuite bathroom includes a soaking tub and separate shower, comfort without excess. It's a space designed for decompression, not display. The home includes 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, with flexibility built into its design. The finished basement offers the potential for a 5th bedroom, connected to an additional full bathroom, alongside a large entertainment area complete with a bar and direct backyard access. This lower level isn't about hosting lavish parties. It's about adaptability, family gatherings, quiet evenings, space that evolves as life changes. Outside, the 2-acre lot provides breathing room that's increasingly rare in suburban America. The golf course setting brings quiet consistency, manicured views, and a sense of order, an environment that mirrors Wendy's preference for structure over chaos. And while this home grounds Wendy Osefo's days, how she moves beyond its walls tells another part of the story, one revealed through the cars she chooses, and what they say about power, independence, and control. Cars. For Wendy Osefo, cars are less about indulgence and more about intention. How you arrive, how you're seen, and how you move through spaces that weren't always built for you. The Lamborghini Huracan is built for impact. Low-slung, sharp-edged, and aerodynamic, it looks engineered to cut through space rather than occupy it. Under the hood, the naturally aspirated V10 delivers explosive acceleration, pushing the car from stillness to speed in seconds. The sound is high, clean, and unmistakable. This is not a casual choice. The Huracan is for moments when presence must be immediate, when confidence needs no explanation. The Cadillac Escalade tells a quieter, more grounded story. Its tall stance and broad shoulders signal stability before the engine even starts. Powered by a large V8, it moves with steady force rather than urgency. On the road, the Escalade feels composed, insulated, and deliberate. Inside, space replaces spectacle. This is the vehicle for long days, family routines, and responsibilities that extend beyond the camera. It is American power expressed through restraint. And as the engine's quiet and the driveway empties, the story naturally turns to the numbers behind these choices. How education, television, and entrepreneurship translate into income, and what that financial reality truly looks like. Income and net worth. Today, her net worth is widely estimated at around $200,000, a figure that reflects not a lack of work, but the reality of balancing many streams at once. Her most visible income comes from reality television. Wendy joined Bravo's The Real Housewives of Potomac in Season 5 in 2020, earning a salary tied to episode appearances, seasonal contracts, and performance-based bonuses. The show also amplified her profile, creating momentum for speaking engagements, brand opportunities, and business launches beyond the screen. Outside reality TV, Wendy built steady income as a political commentator. She has appeared across major networks including CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, BBC, and ABC, contributing analysis rather than spectacle. These guest roles provided professional credibility and supplemental earnings, reinforcing her identity as a serious voice in public discourse. Academia was once her financial backbone. Wendy previously held professorial roles at Johns Hopkins University and later Wesleyan University, teaching courses on education, public policy, and media. Comparable positions at Johns Hopkins have been estimated to pay between $125,000 and $150,000 annually. However, these were not permanent appointments, and she resigned from Wesleyan following legal complications in 2025, narrowing that income stream. She also added authorship to her portfolio. Her 2022 book, My Mother's Tears: A Legacy of Childhood in Nigeria, contributed modest revenue through sales and promotional appearances, while strengthening her public narrative around immigration, resilience, and identity. While some reports once placed her net worth higher, recent legal developments in 2025, including fraud charges involving both Wendy and her husband, have complicated the picture. Prosecutors describe the couple as carrying significant debt and limited liquid assets, highlighting how fragile multi-stream income can become under pressure. And yet, money alone has never been Wendy Osefo's final measure. As financial realities shift, her focus turns outward, toward advocacy, education, and the causes that continue to define her sense of responsibility. Philanthropy. Much of her work centers on education, the same force that shaped her own life. Wendy has served on boards such as the Baltimore Children's Scholarship Fund and the Elijah Cummings Youth Program, supporting scholarships, leadership training, and long-term development for children who rarely start with advantages. These roles weren't ceremonial. They reflected her belief that early access changes outcomes. That belief took its clearest form in the 1954 Equality Project, which Wendy founded and leads as CEO. The initiative focuses on underrepresented minority students navigating higher education, offering resources, strategy, and mentorship. The name itself is intentional, anchored in civil rights history, and the idea that education remains one of the most effective tools for structural change. Health advocacy entered her work through lived experience. In 2022, during Asthma Awareness Month, Wendy partnered with the National Environmental Education Foundation, NEEF, after one of her children struggled with asthma. The campaign raised awareness and funds to help healthcare providers better address environmental triggers, turning a personal challenge into public action. Criminal justice reform has also become part of her philanthropic focus. Wendy and her husband, Eddie, have been visible supporters of the Last Prisoner Project, attending and being honored at the organization's Journey to Justice galas in 2024 and 2025. The work centers on cannabis-related justice, advocating for the release of individuals incarcerated for offenses that are now legal, and supporting reintegration into society. And as public roles evolve and pressures mount, that commitment offers insight into who she is beyond the screen, leading naturally into the most personal chapter of her life. Personal life. For Wendy Osefo, life off camera has never been simple, but it has always been intentional. She married Edward Eddie Osefo in August 2011, a relationship that began long before television entered the picture. College sweethearts, the two marked their 14th wedding anniversary in August 2025 with a tropical getaway, an intentional pause in a life often shaped by public scrutiny. Eddie, a former NFL player turned cannabis entrepreneur behind the brand Happy Eddie, has remained a visible supporter of Wendy's many roles, from professor and author to television personality. Their marriage has played out, at times uncomfortably, on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Conversations about ambition, balance, and pressure have unfolded in front of millions. In a 2024 episode of The Dr. Wendy Show, Wendy reversed roles and interviewed Eddie herself, openly discussing business challenges, emotional strain, and the realities of building a family while both partners chase demanding careers. The couple lives in Finksburg, Maryland, with their 3 children, and motherhood has become one of Wendy's most defining identities. On RHOP, she has spoken candidly about how her parenting differs from her own upbringing, less rigid, more emotionally present. In 2021, that vulnerability deepened when her daughter Cameron, then just 2 years old, spent a week in the ICU. Wendy later shared how that experience reshaped her priorities, reinforcing the fragility beneath achievement. The challenge begins in October 2025 when Wendy and Eddie are arrested in Maryland on multiple fraud charges. The couple was released on bail and issued a joint statement thanking supporters while focusing on their family. Wendy later described the situation as unfortunate, emphasizing unity and faith. By November 2025, legal proceedings were ongoing, with financial surrender and a motion to dismiss filed, though outcomes remain unresolved. Throughout the pressure, Wendy has leaned publicly into faith, posting messages about God's loyalty and endurance. In late 2025, she expressed gratitude for her family and noted the positive impact of participating in Wife Swap, Real Housewives edition, on her marriage. For Wendy Osefo, personal life is not a retreat from struggle. It is where strength is tested, reshaped, and ultimately sustained. As we close this chapter, Wendy Osefo's story reminds us that real power isn't always loud. Sometimes it's built through education, resilience, and the courage to keep standing when pressure hits hardest. Thank you for spending your time with us and for continuing to follow these stories beyond the headlines. If you found value in this journey, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support is what allows these deeper stories to be told.